A very good morning to all of you. So in the previous video, we have discussed about heating effects of current, which is the process of transformation of electrical energy into heat energy due to electric current. And we have also discussed that heating effect of electric current is also known as Joule's heating because it was first studied by James Prescott Joule, and he also gave the formula for it, which is H is equal to I square RT. Today we are going to derive this formula only. So let us see the derivation of Joule's law of heating. So from the definition of potential difference, we know that potential difference is equal to work done per unit charge. So when we cross multiply it, we get the definition for work done, which is equal to charge into potential difference. So in this formula of work done, we have to put the value for charge as well as for potential difference. So we know that current is equal to flow of charges per unit time. So when we cross multiply this equation, we get the value for charge, which is equal to I into T. So from here, from the definition or from the formula of current, we get the value of charge, which comes out to be I into T. Now put this value of Q in the above equation. Put this value in this equation, we get work done is equal to V into I into T by putting the value of charge. Now let us find out the value of V. From Ohm's law, we know that potential difference is equal to current into resistance. So put this value of V again into this formula of work done. So the work done after putting the values of Q, that is charge, and potential difference, that is V, the work done comes out to be this. Work done becomes I square RT when we put the values for charge as well as for potential difference. Now if current is measured in amperes and R in ohms and time in seconds, then work done can be measured in ampere square ohm seconds. So if the current is measured in ampere, resistance is measured in ohm, and time is measured in seconds, so work done is measured in ampere square ohm dot seconds. So this ampere square ohm into second is called joules. So in place of ampere square ohm seconds, we can write joules. So work done can be written as I square RT joules, and this work done appears in the form of heat. So heat produced in the resistor is given by H is equal to I square RT joules. So work done here, the W here is replaced by heat because this work done comes out in the form of heat or appears in the form of heat. So in place of W, we can write H as heat energy, and which is equal to I square RT joules, where I is the current passing through the resistor in amperes, R is the resistance of the resistor in ohms, T is the time in seconds for which current is passed, and H is the heat generated in the resistor in joules. So this is called Joule's, this formula is called Joule's law of heating. I hope the derivation is clear to you all. Now sometimes this heat generated in a conductor due to flow of electric current is also expressed in calories, and 4.184 joules is equal to 1 calorie, that is 1 calorie is equal to 4.184 joules. So if we have to convert this heat generated into calorie, we can divide the above formula by 4.184 joules. So we get our heat generated in the form of calories. So this was the derivation for the Joule's law of heating, that is H is equal to I square RT. Now let us see what conclusions can be drawn from this relationship H is equal to I square RT. So first is heat produced is directly proportional to the square of the current, that is H is directly proportional to the square of the current, which means if the current is doubled, the heat produced will become four times, because there is square, the current is squared. So if the current is doubled, the heat produced will become 4 times, and if the current is halved, the heat produced will become 1/4. Second is heat produced is directly proportional to the resistance of the conductor, that is H is directly proportional to I, which means if the resistance is doubled, the heat produced also gets doubled, and if the resistance is halved, the heat produced also gets halved. Third is heat produced is directly proportional to time for which the current flows through the conductor, which means H is also directly proportional to the time. So this means if the time for which the current is passed through the conductor is doubled, or you can say if the time is doubled, the heat produced also gets doubled, and if the time is halved, the heat produced also gets halved. So these three things we can infer from the Joule's law of heating. H is equal to I square RT. So heat generated is directly proportional to the square of the current, is also directly proportional to the resistance, and directly proportional to the time for which the current flows. Now the applications of the heating effects of current. So these are the important applications of the heating effects of the current as described below. So heating effects of current is particularly used in electrical heating appliances, like you can see electric toaster, electric iron, kettle, stove, water heater. This heating effect of electric current is also used in electric filament bulb. You know that inside the electric bulb there is a filament, and this filament is made up from very thin tungsten wire. So when the current flows through this tungsten wire, this wire gets heated up, and soon it becomes white hot and starts emitting light. Also, the heating effect of current is observed in electric fuse. Yes, use of electric fuse wire is also based on the heating effect of current. Fuse wire is made from a very low melting material, or very low melting alloy. So when large current passes through the circuit, this fuse wire gets heated up and melts away. So as a result, the circuit is broken and further damage is prevented. So these are the applications of the heating effects of current, which is basically used in the electrical heating appliances, in electric bulb, and in electric fuse. So I hope this heating effect of current is clear to you, and the derivation for Joule's law of heating, and what can be concluded from that Joule's law of heating, and